Just want to share a review with this book that I wish I had had before I'd have my 7 kids with my wife. It's the First Time Mom's Blueprint for Pregnancy. One of the things I love about it, it doesn't have a do's and don'ts list. It's just a kind of clear view of the whole process, the pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, post-pregnancy, all the things in between. Anyway, I'm going to show you some things that we really liked going back through it, and some things that we wish we had known. And part of it is they were unknown 20 years ago. So the structure of the book is pretty organized. It's got obviously an introduction, table of contents, goes through like when you find out you're pregnant, what you do at the very beginning, morning sickness, eating for two, healthy, happy, enlightened, first trimester. Then it goes into the second trimester. It talks about the baby reveal party, how to plan all of that, the moving around, then post stuff, how to manage back pain and sleeping and all of that in the third trimester. And then after that, right, after the trimester, it talks about postpartum and mindfulness and stuff like that. And then also basically making a connection with your baby after your baby's born. Anyway, so it goes through all of that. And one of the things that I like about it is it's very non-judgmental. I think one of the things that my wife and I, when she was pregnant, is everybody wants to give you advice about how to do certain things. And yes, that worked for them, but it might not work for you. And so the thing that I love about this is it gives you a ton of different options connected with different things, and then you can choose what's best for you instead of getting this unwarranted advice from, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, sister-in-laws, all these other things. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, not write down, that I have marked. So one of the things that if you're a husband or a mom that's pregnant, is your emotions will start to change, and you need to be aware of the physical, emotional, and mental changes when you're pregnant. And as a first-time father, right, I didn't know that all of those things were happening to my wife. And we'd read, the first week book and different things like that, but I had no idea that it was going to change her, like emotionally and mentally. And then it takes, kind of a toll on me as well, and then a toll on her, and what that looks like from a husband's perspective. So that was one of the things I thought was really helpful in here, is that you're aware of, is that things are going to change not only for, you as the mom, but also the dad. The other one that I had marked was the cravings, talking about, the different types of cravings and what happens with those cravings and why those happen. And, everybody has different cravings. And what's crazy is the cravings are different for different kids. I remember for some of my earlier kids, it was like nachos and cheese. And then for some of my later kids, it was more like sweet and stuff like that. Anyway, it's just funny how the cravings, and it kind of breaks down this whole thing when you're eating for two people and what that looks like. And then the one that I thought was, I want to get to it. It was basically sleeping. Hold on, I have it marked here. A gender reveal checklist, all the things that you need to think about. I thought that was a cool touch in here. I know there's separate books that are just for that, but talking about the back pain, where is it, right? So the back pain and all of your pain is not signs that things are going bad. It's actually normal for there to be discomfort, pain, not being able to sleep. And that's for both of you, right? If you're sharing a bed with the mother, then it's like tossing and turning all night long. That is a normal thing. And I think the first time it comes up, you're like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this much pain. You should be feeling this much pain. You're basically carrying another human being inside of you. And so that was one of the things I thought was very realistic about, like, no, these things are normal. Every woman that's ever had a baby has gone through these things, and you need to be aware of them before you get there. And then the last part, I think, which was really helpful for me, was talking about postpartum and what that looks like for the woman, what that feels like for the woman, but also for the husband or the mom on the opposite side, right, is what that looks like and how you can support a woman that's had a baby post having the baby, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Anyway, highly recommend this book. I honestly wish we'd had it 20 years ago before we'd had our 7 kids. So there's some interactive guides here, the ins and outs of pregnancy, strategies for healthy, happy, and enlightening journey to motherhood. And then it also has a compassionate guide to postpartum recovery. All of those are included in this book. So highly recommend it. Again, wish we would have this before we'd had our first.